Open streets are community-based programs that temporarily open selected streets to people by closing them to cars. By doing this, the streets become a place where people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds can come out and improve their health.
It's a really beautiful way to see the city. There's just tons of people, all different kinds, all different ages. There's even a segment called the Ciclovía, and this is absolutely great because they have about 28 stages with aerobics instructors and Roomba instructors, and they're giving free classes to any citizen that wants to participate. It's really something beautiful to see.
La oportunidad que tiene la familia para disfrutar la ciudad. Eso es lo mejor.
My first impressions of seeing open streets in Guadalajara is this is far beyond my expectation. I knew it would be lively and I knew there would be a lot of people, but I still just could not imagine that it would be what it was, all the people in the streets doing all sorts of activities.
I think it's important to learn from programs like this because you see how it changes the way people see their city. That it changes the way they interact with public space, with parks, with the streets, with the roads, and then with each other. You saw complete strangers kind of teaching each other how to hula hoop, that sense of community.
People can begin to change their habits, and a city can change its culture of health.
¿Qué hacían estos 400,000 usuarios antes de que existiera la vía recreativa?
Estaríamos en casa viendo la televisión o haciendo cosas estáticas en casa.
I actually felt tears of joy riding because it's such an experience to be here riding. It's a sense of freedom. Seeing people in all ages, on all different bikes, with their dogs, with their kids, with their scooters. For me, it's an example of sustainable happiness.
Cities across North America have been moving forward pursuing their own open streets programs and are starting to see the power they have to get people up and active.
It can be very, very successful anywhere in the world, in any type of climate, in any type of society, because one of the things that is universal is how people enjoy the presence of others.
Every day should be Summer Streets Day. Yay!
There we go. All of these people are going to enjoy car-free streets from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., 7 miles all the way up some of the most iconic streets of New York, Park Avenue. It's not just about being in motion. It's also about if you want to go out and have a cup of coffee and enjoy those streets and people watch. I mean, there are wonderful ways to get out and enjoy the streets of New York.
A whole different perspective. I mean, you know, you zip by it in a cab usually.
Well, you get to see things that you would never otherwise see. You know, the statue of Cornelius Vanderbilt. Who knew?
The best part is watching people look up and enjoy buildings from the safety of the street instead of avoiding looking up because they're trying to avoid collision with motorists.
It's a wonderful place to be, but it's terrible during the day with the cars going along and the fumes and the noise and the horns and everything. But today, it's incredible.
It was fantastic. I thought that it was great. I did see a lot of children really having fun.
It's ridiculously fun. They should have done this a long time ago.
The general interest, as we can see, is that people want to take over the streets, and people want to have fun, and people want to meet out as equals, and this develops a sense of belonging.
This is a unique experience. First time in New York City, I'm experiencing this. Yeah. I'm going all the way downtown and coming back all the way uptown.
Oh, this is great fun. They should close the streets more often.
Summer streets, we love them.
Middle of Park Avenue, and it is quiet and peaceful and wonderful. I got my kids right here and I'm not worried that they're gonna get run over by a car. I'm not paranoid that I have to keep an eye on them every second or their lives are in danger. You close the streets to traffic and the whole world opens up.
Well, it all comes down to 4 defining elements. Number 1, selecting an iconic route with neighborhood connections. Should be strategically chosen to include iconic streets that people already like going to. There should typically be one main street along with smaller intersecting streets to connect to different social, economic, and cultural areas of the city. The route length should be determined based on attracting and retaining the interest of walkers, runners, and cyclists alike. That route year after year to connect to as many people as possible. It is also important that the route stay consistent so that local residents and vehicle traffic can anticipate the street opening each week, month, and year.
we closed Park Avenue, which is a pretty iconic street.
Number 2 is frequency. It is important that Healthiest Practice Open Streets programs take place with predictable regularity so participants are able to plan their attendance and change their behavior to be physically active on a regular basis.
Empezamos con 11 kilómetros, con 35,000 personas el primer día y solo con 4 horas, de las 8 a las 12. Actualmente tenemos alrededor de 400,000 usuarios todos los domingos.
Number 3, including hubs of complementary programming.
Along the route, there are activities for people that want to do other things. So people can skip rope, or people can do hula hoops, aerobics, and children's arts and crafts.
A mí me gusta venir a la vía recreativa, saltar la cuerda, a bailar con el aro.
That brings us to number 4, ensuring it's free and accessible. Healthiest Practice Open Streets programs are designed to be inclusive of all ages, abilities, and socioeconomic circumstances. So all the users, including walkers, runners, cyclists, rollers, strollers, and those with disabilities and/or mobility devices should feel welcome.
Public spaces are the ones that belong to everybody. And that's why an activity like this is also so important, so that we learn, if we see any street from the air, the biggest public space are the streets. And we gotta realize that the streets are not just for moving cars. The streets can be used for many, many things, and they can have different uses according to the day of the week, according to the time of the day, and according to the general interest of the city.
Nosotros estamos aprendiendo a entender que las ciudades son para las personas y no son para los carros.